Happy Monday. Aquarius Lady 210, so glad to see you on Instagram. All right. Willie Awesome, Christian Ben, Oasis Builder. So good to see you all on Instagram this morning. Here we go. Happy Monday, superstars. Welcome to the Monday Mindset. Let's jump right into the affirmation for today. Come on, y'all. Say that with me. Today is my best day. Today, I will win. Today, I fully embrace my God-given gifts and I courageously step on my fears. Today, I operate without hesitation and today, I make an impact. Let's go. Let's jump on in. Hey, y'all, this week I had an experience that I'd never had before. It was sort of an extreme experience, and it made me realize that I was dealing with some of my fears all wrong. Maybe other people knew this technique that we'll talk about today, but I didn't have the opportunity to try it yet, especially in extreme circumstances. So we're going to talk about that a bit this morning. How much does your mind shape your reality? How do you harness your thoughts in order to turn anxiety into opportunity? Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, the Monday Mindset Show, the Monday Mindset Movement. 15 to 30 minutes of motivation, elevation, and inspiration designed to get you thinking, blinking, rocking, and rolling throughout your week. Thank you all for showing up today on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and even Twitch this morning. I'm glad that you're here. Listen, y'all, do me a favor. If you want to get down with the Monday Mindset crew, first of all, head on over to MondayMindsetMovement.com to join us there. And then to know when we are live, text live to 240-557-8679. That's 240-557-8679. Text live and we'll let you know when we're live. Come on, come get some inspiration, motivation, value bombs, and more. All right, so let's see who's in the house this morning. Don Kirk Lewis, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. All right, come on. Catherine Roeder, so glad that you are here this morning. Good to see you. Hamzaid, good to see you this morning. Kate Brooksy Hearn, good to see you this morning. Oasis Builder, OMG, so glad that y'all are here this morning in the Monday Mindset Movement. Wow, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Hey, y'all, listen, if you haven't heard me say it before, the whole idea is to really get you moving into this thing. So, you know what? Let's get started. Let's get started this morning with the Monday Mindset Movement. Here we go. Come on. Let's go. Let's get my music moving. Bam. Here we go.
It's time to get motivated, elevated, and accelerated. It's your time to jump out of your comfort zone and reach higher. It's time to get up and go. Grab your cup of grit and your daily dose of resilience. It's time for the Monday Mindset Movement with your host, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. It's time.
Yes. Yes, yes. I need some water. Hey, my friends, listen, so glad you joined me for the movement. Yes, the Monday Mindset Movement. If you haven't heard me say it before, the whole idea is getting in that growth, starting it up, launching, getting in that headspace every day. We don't wind this down on Wednesday. We bring the Monday Mindset into every day so that we can tap into all of the God-given potential in all of us and win. Listen, before we jump in today, if you are a real estate agent, small business owner, or someone who needs to connect with clients for a living, I want to invite you to my upcoming web sessions, Small Talk, Stories, and Sales on July 31st. We're going to show you how to truly connect from that networking event to the paper signing. This is going to be inspirational, value-packed, so get registered for this event. Do me a favor, scan the QR code at the top or scan the QR code right in the center, or go to learnwithrk3.com/3S webinar. All right? That's what's up. That's what's happening. That's where we are. All right, so let's jump on in. Hey, Judith Schneidman, good to see you this morning. Good to see you this morning. David Kimbrough. All right, let's see who else is here. Yep. Catherine Roeder, good to see you. All right. Danny Lewis, glad you're here this morning. Fantastic. So good to see you all this morning. Hey, so let's jump to this. Let's jump in. So let's talk about a little bit of extremes. This past week, my wife and I, we decided to take some time away, and we went to a spa. Yeah. The spa, this is a spa where you had pools, sauna rooms, scrubs, infinity pools, outdoors, food, etc., etc., etc. It was a really picturesque. The ambiance was fantastic. Great space. Great space. Now, I had been to spas before, but there was something that this spa had that the others didn't have. They had plunge pools. Now, I don't know if you understand what a plunge pool is, but this spa had plunge pools. It had 4 of them. And each plunge pool is not big. You can only have maybe 3 to 6 people in each of these pools at any time, but they're different temperatures. At this particular spa, there were 4 plunge pools. One of them was 105 degrees. One of them was 100 degrees. Another was 80 degrees. And another was 45 degrees. All right. So my wife and I, we decided that we were going to jump in, and we went in first to the 100-degree pool. Now, that was pretty comfortable. It was pretty nice. It actually, you walk in and you're like, that's nice. Okay. So we went into the 100, and then we decided we were going to go into the 105. Just take it up just a little bit. It's warm. It's kind of like when you take a shower, really nice. Then as we were in the 105 pool, we looked over to our left and we saw 2 ladies in the last pool. Now, at the time, we didn't know that it was the 45 pool. I didn't know that it was that cold. We just saw 2 ladies in there, and both of them, they were in the pool and they had their hands like this. And I was wondering, okay, what kind of spiritual practice are they doing? Didn't know what they were up to, didn't know that the temperature was what it was, just saw them in there, and they stayed in there. They looked to be in there 2 to 3 minutes or so. Now, what started to give me an inkling that something was a little bit different about that pool was we saw some people standing around the outside of that pool recording. They had their phones out and they were recording. And as they recorded, there were some people that started laughing and walking back to the direction that we were. And we heard them saying, "No way, no way, no way." So I went over and I decided to check out what was happening over here. So we go over and I see the temperature written at the top of the pool area, at the front of the pool area. And I decided, yeah, you know what? I'm going to try this. So This pool is 45 degrees, y'all. 40, if you've never, you might say, okay, 32 degrees is freezing in the winter, 45, yeah, but 45 degrees in water is something different. I don't know if you've ever gone to the beach and they say the temperature of the water is 70 something degrees. You go in and that's fairly cold. You're like, oh my gosh, this is cold. So I decided that I was going to go in and try this 45-degree temperature, right? I lasted 15 seconds. After those 15 seconds, I got out and I went immediately back over to the 80-degree pool and then to the 100 pool. Now, after I'd finished both of those pools, I went over to another pool where it was the hydrotherapy pool. And this pool was about 88, 90 degrees. So I step into the hydrotherapy pool, and immediately as I step in, I go, woo, and I kind of gather myself like this, right? I gather up my body. Most of you have had that experience. You've stepped into the pool and you're like, oh, okay, because it's a little bit cold. So at this point, after I stepped in, I was only up to my knees at this point, but I'm, woo, and I'm shivering and I'm stepping into the pool and it's 80 something degrees, y'all, in the water. But then something came to my mind. I thought about something. I wondered, why is it that I step in to this pool and I feel how it feels and I respond by saying, ooh, and just gathering myself? I asked myself the question, what if I just accepted that this pool experience was going to be unexpected and maybe uncomfortable, and I walked in without responding to the discomfort? What if I just accepted that it was going to be cool? What if I just accepted that it was not going to be comfortable, and I walked in without saying, woo, and grabbing my body or being tense? Here's what I learned. I recognized that tension, while it physically protects us, also plays into the anxiety of discomfort. Here's what I mean. The more that I tensed my body for the cold, the more that my body didn't want to embrace the temperature, even though my mind said, yep, we're going to go into this pool. I closed my eyes and I said, we're going to go into this pool. But the more that I tensed my body, the more that my body didn't want to embrace the temperature. And here's the thing. The temperature wasn't changing just because I tensed, right? Just because I did this, the water temperature didn't change. It was not going to be any warmer simply because I did this. Yep, tensing was my body's way of preparing. But what about my mind? What about my mind? Was my mind preparing? Or maybe the question is, was my mind leading the preparation, or was my body leading the preparation? I want you to think about this. I want you to think about your week. How are you approaching your week? Is your mind leading the charge, or are your anxieties and your worries leading the charge? Is your mind leading the charge? And if so, if your mind is leading, what is it leading with? Is it leading with anxiety? Is it leading with negativity? Is it leading with pessimism? What is your mind leading with? Here's what happened. I walked into the pool and I just decided, listen, I'm just walking in and I'm not going to respond to however this water feels. And so I walked in and I didn't respond. And as I did that, yes, I felt the cold, but it immediately began to change. And I didn't focus on the cold. I focused on walking over to where the hydrotherapy jets were. So this leads me to a conversation that I've had over the last few weeks. A lot of times when we are about to experience discomfort or something uncomfortable, we talk about how we look or how do we prepare for this. And one of the ways that I've been talking about preparing for this is by making sure that your mindset is right. Let's make sure that your mindset is right. And how do you make sure that your mindset is right? Well, it's about repetition. You got to repeat what you want so that your mind is prepared for that. And a lot of people talk about meditation and affirmations, and I believe in both. But here's what I believe also. Many people are led astray on affirmations. Many people are doing affirmations wrong. Many people do affirmations by trying to trick their minds, and that doesn't work. For example, I'll go back to the cold water. Sometimes you run into people who will tell you to do affirmations by saying the water's not cold. Yes, it is. The water is cold. Right? We try to trick ourselves by saying, close my eyes and saying, the water's not cold. The water's not cold. The water's not cold. Yes, it is. The water is cold. That's the reality of it. Right? I think about the Tony Robbins events that they have where people are walking on coals, right? Or they're walking on fire. They're fire walkers. Do you just say the fire's not hot? The fire's hot. It is. So it's not about the temperature. It's not about what you're telling yourself that isn't real. Right? Unless you're walking around with fire, that water is going to continue to be cold. So what do you do about this? What do you do about this? Well, I want to have you create your affirmations a little bit differently. How do I create an affirmation about something like this? Well, here's what I want to share with you this morning about how you can create an affirmation. Create an affirmation by acknowledging what is and then stating your commitment to that affirmation. Right? Acknowledge what is and then state your commitment to it. So acknowledge it by saying there is cold water around me. But I'm committed to accepting the discomfort and moving forward until I reach the other end of the pool. Right? That's what's real. There is cold water around me, and I'm committed to accepting the discomfort and reaching my goal at the other end of the pool. Another example of affirmations that some people may share that I believe are not real is where they'll say to tell yourself, I'm wealthy and I'm a money magnet. Okay. But maybe you're not wealthy at that moment. So how do I create an affirmation that embraces what is or acknowledges what is, but commits me to action? Well, instead of saying I'm wealthy and I'm a money magnet, how about there is opportunity all around me and I'm committed to embracing a positive mindset and doing the work it takes to achieve my dreams. I will achieve my dreams. I've leaned into what is. My current situation is that while my bank account does not show wealth, I acknowledge that there is opportunity all around me. And I'm committed to doing the work because it takes work. One of the reasons why some of us fail in our affirmations is because we want to do the affirmation to skip over the work. If I just say it enough, if I just say it out of my mouth, if I just open my mouth and it'll manifest automatically. There's no work involved. There's going to be work involved. And I've got to commit myself to embracing that mindset, embracing the positive mindset, and doing the work that it takes to achieve my dreams and believing that I will achieve my dreams. I want you to try this. What affirmations have you been saying? What affirmations do you need to redo? What affirmations do you need to redo? Let's go back to the pool. So I walked through this mental process of accepting the uncomfortable, and I decided that I wanted to go back to the cold plunge. So before walking in, I knew it was going to be cold. But I decided that no matter what, I was committed to doing at least a minute. So I walk into the pool. My wife is recording, and as I walk in, I say immediately to myself, "This is not so bad." And then as it gets further, about 10, 15 seconds, and I'm like, "Holy smokes, this is cold." Then I say in my mind, "But I'm committed to at least a minute." And here's what happens. I want to reiterate to us that when we change our mind or when we speak to our minds, that doesn't change the reality. The water's still cold. And as a matter of fact, I may even acknowledge that it's cold. But what's greater than that is that I'm committed to something. I'm committed to at least a minute. And I got up out of there after a minute. And the truth is, when I got up, I could have stayed in longer because I wasn't focused on the cold at that point. I was focused on my goal. That rhymed, so I'll say it again. I wasn't focused on the cold. I was focused on my goal. Right? I was committed to at least a minute. I bet you the next time that I go back, I can commit to 2 minutes. What are you committed to? What are you saying to yourself? What is it that you are going to do? What is it that you are going to achieve? Despite the discomfort, or maybe because of the discomfort. So as we've been doing this week, as we've been doing this information, this session, this affirmation, this inspiration this morning, I like to end with a little bit of homework. I don't want you just to take this and then walk away and don't change. I want you to do something. So I want you to find something that challenges you this week. Think about it. As a matter of fact, do it today. I want you to find something that challenges you. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you respond pretty easily by yelling. Okay, so something makes you uncomfortable, you immediately yell. That's something that challenges you. Maybe it's your exercise. How do you respond? Do you shy away or do you do the uncomfortable things? Or maybe it's going to the spa, or maybe something as simple as a cold shower. Okay, find something, anything that challenges you. And here's a second step I'd like for you to take. Decide, make a decision. Decide to go all into the discomfort without responding to the tension, or without responding through tension. Just like I decided, listen, I'm going to walk into this pool. I know it's going to be cold. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. And I'm not going to respond to the discomfort through tension. I'm not going to say, woo! I'm not going to tense up. Decide to go all into what challenges you this week without responding to the tension, or responding through tension. Listen, y'all, that's all for this week. To know when we are live next, text live to 240-557-8679 and I'll send it to you. I'll make sure that you know where we are. That's live, LIVE, to 240-557-8679, and I will get you that link. Remember to join me for Small Talk, Stories, and Sales on July 31st. Make sure that you register at learnwithrk3.com/3S webinar. Okay, learnwithrk3.com/3S webinar for the Small Talk, Stories, and Sales session on July 31st. I want to end today with this, a quote from Peter Hollins. And he says, Without goals, aspirations, and dreams, discipline is pointless suffering. Decide today the life that you want and then create systems to achieve it. Hey, y'all, it's Monday, and we want to shift your mindset to a place of growth. It doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Be curious. Make a choice. Move. Start a movement. Be a movement. Join me next week, Monday at 8 a.m. on the Monday Mindset Movement on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, yes, and maybe even Twitch. I'll see you real soon. Until then, be amazing, my friends. J-Man Speaks, good to see you. Catherine Roeder, good to see you. Tamika S. Graham, good to see you. Sescali, good to see you. Dulcinea Jones, good to see you. Independent Woman, good to see y'all this morning. Sharon Washington, good to see y'all this morning. Nathalie Gregg, good to see y'all this morning. See y'all next week, 8 a.m. Monday Mindset. Peace.